Now, in the same breath, the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, that is PCEA in Kenya, has strongly condemned last night's violence that resulted in the burning of a section of the PCEA church in Kibera and stalls at a mosque in the same area. Now, led by the PCEA moderator, Reverend Dr. Thegu Mutahi, the church says that Monday night's heinous act is unfortunate and called on the government security agencies to probe and bring to book all the perpetrators who have caused damages to properties. And as Gloria Musimbi reports, Amnesty International castigated the security personnel for the slow response to the issue.
A day after the opposition Azimio led Kenyans in the second anti-government protest called by the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition, religious leaders have warned against the chaos and targeting of places of worship, as witnessed Monday in Kibera, Nairobi during protests called by the opposition. Among the properties burnt and destroyed were kiosks and small businesses along Karanja Road, PCEA Emmanuel Church, residentials and a van inside the church premises, and an attempt to burn down a mosque. Addressing the press, PCEA moderator Reverend Dr. Thegu Mutahi called on the security agencies to probe and bring to book the perpetrators.
Tunataka kusema kwamba tungetaka waliotenda kitendo hicho watubu mbele ya Mungu, kwa sababu Mungu anamsamaha. Twajua serikali inapaswa kuchukua hatua zake za kutafuta waliotenda uhalifu, lakini sisi tunataka kuwakabidhi hawa kwa Mungu, apate kuwaona, apate kuwasamehe, na sisi tutakuwa tumewasamehe. Hatuna kisasi, ingawa tumepata hasara kubwa ukizunguka hapa, lakini hatuna kisasi, kwa sababu kanisa haikuwa yetu, ili kanisa ni ya Mungu.
The chairperson of the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims, Sheikh Al-Haji Olenado, said Kibera residents had for long lived peacefully and that politics should not divide them.
Always the strength upon which we have always faced challenges and tribulations in our long years of brotherly coexistence. Christians and Muslims have never been enemies. We live in the same neighborhoods, our children play together, and some attend the same schools. And we go to the same hospitals. They breathe the same air given freely by God the Almighty. It is for these reasons that as religious leaders, we are deeply pained and regret the unfolding, sprawling incidences of violence linked to the nationwide protest called by the Azimio One Kenya coalition.
Human rights groups led by Amnesty International Kenya Executive Director Irungu Houghton addressed the press in Kibera, where he said Kenya has a constitutional framework that must be followed during such protests. This even as it emerged that several people might have died during the incident.
These are not buildings. They are places of worship, and they are sacred places of God and Allah. Can we ask, is it too much to ask the Muslims to cross that river and help Christians rebuild their church? Can we ask the Christians to cross that river and rebuild the mosque? And if you do that, the human rights organizations, I pledge, we will come personally to help you rebuild your places of worship and to restore dignity and the right to worship for this area.
As stated by NCIC Commissioner Danvas Makori, the National Cohesion Integration Commission NCIC condemned the destruction of the properties during demonstrations, saying it was unacceptable.
We condemn that strongly. And ours is to pledge to work closely with RCK, with the community elders in Kibera, the youth leaders in Kibera, to make sure peace is set first.
Kilimani Sub-County Police Commander Andrew Mbogo said police will continue with their mandate to protect lives and urge Kibera residents to peacefully coexist.
We ask the community, people living in Kibera, you have been living together for a long time, you know one another, and we'll continue ensuring that we perform our mandate of ensuring that there is protection, safety of lives and property.
It is an incident that has left many businesses adversely affected and incurring many losses, with the big question remaining to be who is to blame and amidst the blame game. When will things come to normalcy? Gloria Musimbi, Hope TV News Watch.